Okay, so tonight's class, we are going to look at Google AI Studio. If you are not familiar with it, hopefully you'll give it a try. I found that this app builder is by far one of the easier ones. And the other good thing is that you can connect to the other Google services for the back end, or you can just do it directly in the cloud. So it kind of makes this uh, a little more user friendly, if you will. So first, I'm just going to start by showing you around. So here I'm in the build, and it actually comes up for me whenever I open it. But I'll go back. So this is Google Studio, Google AI Studio, where you can build apps. There's also the playground. There's a dashboard. There's documentation. A few more things down here. This is the link you'll click when you need to use your API key. And when you're first starting out, you don't have to use the API key right away. You'll probably be prompted for that if your app requires like video or imaging. Okay, so I'm gonna go into build. And then so on this side, you'll see start, you'll see gallery, you'll see your apps, FAQs, and then these are the recent ones that I've been into. So these are the ones that I've built since I started playing around with this. And I actually had used this probably a couple months ago in September, and I had forgotten about it. So if you know already, I've tried Hostinger, I've tried Firebase, I've tried Base 44. Base 44 is pretty much okay, but I am running into issues with that. And I think sometimes it just depends on if you build your app and then you constantly have to make changes to the app, the AI could get a little confused. So you kind of like want to have a roadmap, have a plan, try to make sure that your first prompt really kind of contains a lot of the things that you want to have in your app. So with that being said, so here's where you do your model. You can change the model. The default, if you go in there, you'll probably see the looks like they came out with something new, Gemini 3 Pro preview. Okay. But when I first started, it was Gemini 2.5 Pro. And then I switched to the Flash because I heard that it's supposed to be better and faster. But who knows, Pro might be even better. I haven't tried that yet. That just probably came today. And then it uses React by default. So you'll see that there. And then your microphone, you can select a microphone. I just let it pick the default. So that's in your settings on that side. Down here, you get to see how you can build out your apps or supercharge your apps, if you will. So these pretty much Nano Banana, you can add conversations and use the voice features. There's animation with VO, and then here's Google search. But if you click on this arrow, seems like they've really redesigned this again, because just yesterday, all these were kind of grouped under here, but now they've put the gallery right here. So here you have maps. You can generate images with the prompt. So this is probably one of the other Google image generators. Here's, you can add intelligence into your app. If you just keep scrolling, there's the AI power chatbot. Here's your prompt for video, control image aspect ratios. So all those things. And if you know right away when you're building your app, you can just click on it and it gets selected, and it starts to put those, it'll be ready to add those to your prompt. If you can see right here, those got added in here. So if you kind of go through that list and select those because you know you want to use them, then I would say just pull them in. It's probably going to be the easiest thing. They have video understanding. What else? Transcribe audio, think more when needed, and generate speech. So those are the functions that you can add into your app. And then down here, we'll go through the gallery. So if I click on browse the gallery, you'll see a lot more. So yeah, there you go. Gemini 3 Pro is here. That's going to be amazing. Okay, so here's some of the, I guess, landing pages. These are nice, some of them. So I guess this is more, maybe they're focusing more on design with the Gemini 3, because these are new. I haven't seen these before. But these are some of the apps that are already created. And I think if you clicked on one of those, you could probably use it as your prototype. And I guess these are the favorites here. So I'm going to go back and we will jump right in to build an app. And we'll just come up with something basic, but as I've always said, you know, if it's an app or an idea that you have very close to you, you know, you probably want to protect it, but to play around, you can just come up with something, and who knows, sometimes even those wind up being really good, useful apps. So if you can't come up with an idea, they have this really cool feature, I'm feeling lucky. So you click that and it will just build an app for you. And I haven't tried that yet, but you know, maybe I'll try it tonight. But I'll probably add in a few of these. So I'm going to add the Nano Banana. I'm going to add Google search and probably like the chat bot. Where is it? Oh, create images and this one. And probably this one. Okay, so I'm going to add those in there, and I could put a prompt here, or I could do the I'm feeling lucky. And I have to ask myself, am I feeling lucky, or do I want to put in a prompt? I'm going to go. Okay. I want to change. I'm going to try this new model too. Let's see if it lets me. Or maybe I shouldn't try new things. Because then if it doesn't work right, you guys are going to be mad. You're going to be like, wait a minute, that didn't work. Yeah, I think that's what I'm going to put a prompt in here. So what I'm doing right now on my other screen, guys, is I'm just asking ChatGPT for a prompt. One of the things I like to do is to ask ChatGPT because it's pretty much trained to the way I like to build the apps already. So I think it's going to put a lot of good information in here and build the screens that I'm used to seeing. So I think I did one very generically before, and it didn't have a lot of screens. So I'll scroll up here and I'll let you see what I kind of got from ChatGPT. I said, I said, give me an app to help with house cleaning. And so this is a house cleaning assistant app. Goal of the app is to create a simple but powerful app that helps homeowners organize and track their house cleaning routine and cleaning businesses owners manage jobs, checklists, and quality control. So I think we could all probably use a little help with that. I know I can. Turn a user's cleaning goals, weekly, monthly, deep clean, move out, etc., into organized task lists. So here you can kind of like read for yourself. It gave it an app name, Sparkle and Shine House Cleaning. The tone is friendly, clear, and professional. The audience is homeowners, renters, and small cleaning business owners. So that would be a nice target if you wanted to try to sell it. So you can sell it to cleaning business owners. So here I'm just going to kind of like scroll past some of this, scroll past some of that. And I guess here's your task list of different, I guess it's going to give you some Google Sheets or something, but we'll see. So now I'm about ready to, oh, there's the buttons that I'm going to get. And I don't know how many screens I'm going to get, but usually, like I said, if I use the prompt, I'll get some nice screens that are suggested by ChatGPT. So here we go. I'm clicking on build. And as you can see, it's generating a default cleaning checklist. And at any time I could add to the chat over here, but I wouldn't be able to submit it until after this finishes. And this does take a little bit of time because it's adding in these things that you see over here. I mean, the really cool thing is, like, let's say if you were targeting a janitorial service or cleaning service, and you had some features where they could take pictures that are assigned to a property to show the homeowners that, you know, hey, the job is done, it's nice and clean. You know, those could be useful, especially if they say, well, I cleaned that, but maybe it doesn't look as clean. So if you've ever used the Google AI Studio, let me know in the chat. And if you need some help with a project that you're working on already, it's really kind of easy to transition projects. And I would say you have to also be very careful to not cross-contaminate projects, because that's happened to me too. Like, I'll be working in the project and I have maybe a couple of different accounts, and when I go to sign in, I might choose the wrong one and start adding, you know, suggestions for the wrong project. So you got to be just very careful about that, because that happened. Let me just say, I saw reference to another project and I was like, how did that get there? And I pasted it in there. So just be careful about that. It is fairly quick and it's fairly thorough. I mean, you're still going to come across error messages. And one thing I will say that most often it will correct itself. And what I like about this one is it's free. So with Hostinger and some of the other ones, yeah, they offer a free service, but you run out of credits really quickly. And so with Hostinger, I did wind up subscribing, and then I wind up upgrading because I kept running out of credits and I kept running into the same errors over and over again, especially when connecting to the back end. So that is the biggest challenge with the apps. So you see right here, it says analyzing 49 errors, but it will resolve it. So fingers crossed it will. The other day I was building an app, and when it was done, all I had was a white screen. So I said, okay, that didn't work. And I went back and tweaked the prompt a little bit and did it over again. So sometimes, I mean, that was a fairly long prompt, but sometimes the prompt can be too big. So you just got to be careful of that too. And I'm hoping that's not the case in this app. So we'll see. The other thing, and I probably should have put that in my prompt, if you want a specific color and you know, you want a style, you might want to add that to your prompt. Otherwise, it will give a default, and I think it's like a blue. That's what I've seen most often. And then one time I tried to have it change the logo. That is a challenge on every app that I tried to have it change. So I think that the Google default logo is very much embedded within the app, and it's not so easy to change. So, but you could color it. So I'm curious to see what this is going to look like. Oh, see, there's a blue. See, but it's a lighter blue. I've seen darker blue, but I guess this is probably the color that goes along with this type of app. So it's running. This is one error. And you see down here it stops. So it says auto fix. I'm going to go ahead and click that. Oh boy, that's not looking good so far. And if it doesn't come out, I'll probably ask ChatGPT for a more simplified prompt and do it again. Yeah, like I said, sometimes it can be too much. I guess the idea is like, and I've kind of like trained Chat to not necessarily give me code to paste in, because what I have found is, especially, it's a ChatGPT builds apps too, right? So it gives you a lot of code, and you ask for something and it knows you're building an app. It'll give you code, and then when you paste that code in, and then the system already has its own code, it conflicts, and so sometimes that could be the error as well. And they're still. I've seen those before. So a tip for you, if you run across certain types of errors, sometimes you can press the F12 button to see the console. So this is a web developer tool, and this kind of can give an indication of what the error might be. And what I normally do is just get this and kind of paste it in. So maybe it's going to resolve, I'm not sure, but sometimes you'll see here. I wouldn't expect you to understand all this because I don't either. Okay, there we go. It finally came up. And what it's asking for is an API key. And I don't have an API key for this one, but I will do this. I will say I don't have a current project with this name. So I'm just going to create a new key, and I'm going to call it Sparkle and Shine. And sometimes you might also get this error, and it might tell you to connect to billing. If I usually click done on here, it goes away. So I did create a new project, but it's twitching something. That's too early, too soon to be having an issue. Sometimes refreshing the screen helps. The other day, I also ran into a problem where told me I had to ask for more accounts, so I had too many. Okay, so I clicked on something and it kind of stopped that, but let's see if I go back to the dashboard. I think it's having an issue with the dashboard. But here's jobs. So here's cleaning jobs. Let's put some sample data in here. and you can have the status on here. Here's viewing the action. So I think it did a pretty good job. It's just that dashboard is the problem now. All properties. So this would be good for like even a property manager or real estate agents who have to help their homeowners get a property ready. So generate new image prompt. And I guess I'll probably tweak this because usually this is what I'll do. I'll say, give, the ability to upload an image or use the camera, use the camera from your phone. There's a image, there's upload image, choose a file. And here's your chat bot, start a conversation. And here's settings. So settings and profile, preferred work days, AI scheduling suggestions, task complete, templates coming soon. So yeah, something else I did not too long ago involved creating templates, and so ChatGPT remembers. And then supplies, I would just, add a new supply. AI suggests supplies to restock. So it keeps track of the inventory. So I didn't even ask for that, but yeah, that's a good thing. And then here's your task, properties, jobs. And then this dashboard is probably something I need to work on. So what you can do is you can annotate in the app. So if I click this and I click this, I can take a screenshot. Whoops. Take a screenshot. And then this can get sent to the app. Into the AI builder. I guess it's kind of hard to do it with it twitching. So that, and then here, do like that. And then add to the chat. And then over here, I can put a note. The dashboard screen is flickering. The other tabs work so far. So I'll do that, and let's see if it can fix this error. So sometimes it's really helpful if you send a snapshot. I've even, like I said, used the F12 button, and that activates the web console. If you go to console tab in the web, you could probably do that now. See what it says. So when you send that, it will kind of helps analyze the error because it doesn't have access to your web console. And then the code, you can go in here and even take a snapshot of the code. If you see, like right here, you can see this red. It's usually like there's an error message after that string. Right there. This indicates an error. Can't see exactly where it is, but it's in here, I think, in it, because here's your red. So let's see, what did it do? So yeah, usually you just create a project. You don't have to be connected right now. Just click done, and then it'll give you access, but it just likes to know that you created one. So it fixed the dashboard. So here you can see, welcome to Sparkle and Shine, today's jobs. So if there were any jobs, they would show up here. The tasks would show up here. And then down here you have quick actions, create new job, add property, view task, and then the AI cleaning plan for the day. So that's pretty cool. You could go into full screen here. And again, like I said, you can go through and do these things. One thing I normally do when I'm building out an app is for settings. Like right now, you can see that there are some settings in here, but I also like to have profile pages. This says settings and profiles, but I don't see username, and I don't see like reset your or change your password or upload a photo, for your avatar or your image for your profile. So those are some of the things that I would ask for. And then I would also ask to be able to change the logo. Like I said, by default, it gives a logo, and maybe it's programmed to not, because this is a builder app. So maybe you got to do a little bit more. If you want to get a logo, you got to get it out of here and do something else. So then here you have version history. So if you click this, so I know I hear a lot of people say that, oh, they just, they'll make another copy. You can do that, but it does do auto saves. And if you had an issue, you could go and find, right now, see, this is the only one 2 minutes ago. Or actually, here's a couple of them. But let's just say I did something here and it broke it. I could go back and select a previous time when it was working and then restore to that version, and it'll bring your app back. The other thing you can do is you can save it to GitHub if you have a GitHub account. And so I'll go ahead and do that now so you can see it. I'm going to give it a name. I'm going to call this Sparkle and Shine. And I'm going to keep it private for now and create GitHub. So it's going to sync. I already have a GitHub account, so it should sync with my account. I don't think, yeah, it's already connected. See? So it made a new account on my GitHub account. So it's there now. And then when you are done and you're ready to deploy your app, you can click here to deploy it. I'm not going to do that right now, but you can deploy it as many times as you need, especially if you make changes. You can do that. Now, another best practice is if you are reselling the app itself, you definitely want to resell a copy of it. So you would probably want to keep a different, like rename it for another client, so you can actually copy the app. I think is it over here? No, I remember where that's at. Well, you can share it from here, so you can click on share. And here's, and you copy this link. This is after you publish it, of course. And then you can change permissions. So right now, the app runs on, I think it's your Google. See, here's my Google account. And right now, if I shared it, it's only going to be accessible to people that I give access to, and then, or I can change it. So this kind of acts just like your Google Drive. And I'm just going to close that. I'm not sharing it right now. What else do I want to show you? Oh, okay. So now this is where I'll ask for certain things. So automatically, the app will suggest changes for you. But I know that I want, in the profile or in settings, I want the user to be able to upload a photo. So add user to profile and settings. User should be able to upload photo, change email. What else? Oh, add short bio. Fill it out just in case. And share. No, not yet, not yet. Okay, I'll do that for now. It's good at taking suggestions one at a time. You don't want to overwhelm it too much. I've seen my apps break because I try to cram a lot of stuff in there. And because it's free, you don't have to, pay for the tokens you use. It's okay to take your time. I try to cram like maybe 8 or 9 different requests in Hostinger because it's going to use up credits. And so I found myself doing that a lot. But so far, I do like the AI Studio in Google. I've been able to create some really cool apps. Okay, so let's see. So here's your user profile now. Upload profile picture. Oh, and another thing, when you're building these apps, you almost always need to have a storage setting. So I'm going to say, because I don't see that here, user will need a location to store uploaded images. So now it's going to build a storage. And then as I'm thinking, because as you're building your app, you're going to keep thinking of things. And automatically, I notice there's nowhere for invoicing. There's nowhere for documents. So let's just say, I know they have a task and stuff, but what if you wanted to print out a checklist or print out something that you wanted to give to a worker or print out something to leave with the homeowner? So, I forgot to push this button. You got to send the prompt. And if you notice while this is spinning, it says unsaved. And when it's done, it's going to show saved. So you don't always have to keep saving. Oh, and here's where you can make a copy. So you click the save as button, and that's how you'll make a copy of the app. So again, like I said, it does auto save. Okay. So let's see. Where did it put the documents? I guess if I read, I might find out. Let me see. Because it usually tells you the action that it took. Okay. User profile. That's a profile picture. Okay. So yeah, I don't see. I think it just repeated what I just said. So here's a summary of the changes. And I don't see anything about document storage. Oh, here we go. This implementation allows users to personalize, their profile within the app. The uploaded or generated images like profile pictures are stored as base64 strings within the local storage data store, aligning with the existing mock Google Sheets data management strategy. Okay, so I think it kind of connects to your Google Drive, but I want the storage to be accessible in the app. Let me just check, make sure they didn't put on the dashboard. Sometimes that's, you'll find stuff there, task today's. Yeah, so no, they haven't. I don't think it's in here either. Just to be sure. Okay. And I would say take good notes, test it out thoroughly. You'll want to go through every tab and act as if, so that you can thoroughly test it out, especially if you're going to be reselling it. If you're using it for yourself, you can, change things and build it as you go. And the other thing too is in the builder, you don't get much storage. I think even when you're testing, you'll have 2 MB size limit. So some things I had to test with a very small icon just so that I don't go over storage limits. So just keep that in mind. And if you have the log on, so if you have authentication set up on your app, every time it makes a fix, it will log you out, and then you'll have to log back in, and then things disappear. But that's common. But I've learned to not add authentication or roles to an app until after I'm finished building it out and testing it out. So that's just one of my tips for best practices, is to build out the app first to the best of your ability, and then add user authentication and things like that. That must have been a pretty big change. Okay. So let's see. I still don't see it. I kind of had this problem yesterday. It was going to show you all the stored images. So that did change. It's in the gallery. That's where they put the storage. So they call it image gallery because all I asked for was the images. And so it's probably going to have to change it now, because I'm going to say documents maybe. Or maybe not. Most days things get sent electronically, so maybe I'll just leave it alone. This was really just to show you guys, what you can do here. The next class, what I'll do is we'll walk through deploying the app and then connecting it to the cloud, and then I'll also walk you through setting up the real API key. So that's pretty much it for tonight. And yeah, the Google AI app is very promising. And if you have any questions, just feel free to, pop it into the community, and I'll get your questions answered. Again, if you need help with your app, just let me know. Yeah, and that's all for tonight. Thanks, you guys. Have a good evening.